turns the table. Boris lost the moral high ground in election, Labour edges out in the long run. The Prime Minister visited Sidcup on Friday afternoon ahead of a vote next month to replace former Minister James Brokenshire, who died of cancer last month. He said the local candidate in Old Bexley and Sidcup was strong enough to mean voters will back the Tories. Asked whether he feared public concern over standards would lose the Conservatives the Sidcup by-election, Mr Johnson said, "No, because Louis French is running a great campaign on the big issues that matter to people. He is building on the legacy of James Brokenshire, ensuring that Queen Mary Hospital has ever better faculties and making sure that we have ever safer streets in Greater London." The PM's faith in his party comes after leaked text messages seen by The Times suggested Culture Secretary Nadine Dorries accused fellow Tories of peddling totally not true predictions that the sleaze allegations over second jobs would hurt the party at the ballot box. However, 2 weeks ago it was difficult to find a single Labour MP who genuinely thought their party was in with a chance of winning the next election. The mood was one of quiet resignation at the prospect of a fifth consecutive defeat. The media had also largely written off Keir Starmer. The Guardian front page headline was PM's holiday villa linked to Goldsmith tax evasion case, while the Daily Mail had a poll that was such bad news for the Conservatives that the paper splashed it across the front. After a week of sleaze, Labour race ahead of Tories by 6 points, the Mail said. Embarrassingly for Johnson, this was all on the concluding weekend of the COP26 climate summit, at which he had hoped to pose as a global saviour. A poll for this newspaper by Opinium Today also gives Labour a lead, for the first time since January, and shows Johnson's personal ratings plumbing new depths. Now it is the mood inside the Tory party that is depressed, and very sour. Soon the Prime Minister will have to act to limit second jobs for MPs, which are feeding a daily production line for sleazed stories. But doing so will bring more political problems for the man who himself earned £1.6 million as a backbencher from outside work. He can't win with his MPs, said a former minister. Whatever he does to limit second jobs, he will anger huge numbers of us, who have them. In the space of less than a fortnight, Johnson has gone from being viewed as winner both at Westminster and in the country, to being seen as something of a political liability by his own MPs. Another former minister described him as a publicity phenomenon, which is how he got the 80-seat majority. Now that people had begun to see through the act, he suggested, that could be that. Voters don't seem to care, then suddenly, it all catches up with you. The troubles with the economy are going to mount up. Levelling up is a slogan and not a policy. Global Britain is a slogan and not a policy. He just looks shallow. Another influential Tory was equally doom-laden. Boris has forgotten what being a Conservative means. It started with parking tanks on Labour lawns as a bit of a PR exercise, which was clever, strategic stuff. But it's gone to his head, he's bought into his own PR, and he's now a leader that's lost his way and forgotten the sound Conservative principles that got him elected as the party's leader in the first place. That, combined with his seeming inability to put a strong team of advisers around him, or to empower ministers to go out and deliver for him as they all want to, and you've got a toxic mix of havoc and shambles in number 10 that will drive this country into the ground if MPs don't start doing something about it.